Music of My Mind from 1972. Matt, run the numbers, and then I'll kick us off with my initial thoughts.
Okay, so this is Stevie Wonder's fifth highest rated album on Best Ever Albums, coming in at number 540 in the 1970s, number 52 in 1972, number 2,916 of all time, and on Rolling Stone's list, it's number 350.
All right. Well, it is almost impossible to not compare this album to Talking Book, since we did it so recently, and they're from the same period of time, pretty much.
Same
and
year.
I will.
This is the album before Talking Book.
It's the album before Talking Book, yes. And I will tell you, I like this album a lot better than I liked Talking Book. Yes. I thought that there was a lot more going on musically. And Keep On Running, you've got a little bit of funk in there. Love Having You Around is a long song, 7:23, but not a song that's too long. It's also, it kind of stands out for being atypical, in my opinion, from the rest of the album, in that if you were to just listen to that song, you would think that all of the songs would be sort of longer, drawn out, jammy type of songs, but it goes in a different direction. As early as I Love Every Little Thing About You, which is just a sweet little pop song. I would say Happier Than the Morning Sun almost sounds like later Stevie Wonder. It's like a 1972 version of I Just Called to Say I Love You. Like you could see he wrote that same song, but with 80s production. But Happier Than the Morning Sun is pretty much the same song as I Just Called to Say I Love You in terms of, kind of what he's doing musically a little bit. The only thing with Stevie Wonder is, God bless the guy. Every song he writes is about love. He writes about his love as much as Aretha Franklin sang about Jesus, to the point where it's like there's a lot of love with Stevie Wonder, and I kind of want him to sing about something a little grittier, because it's just like, now I've heard of 9 songs on this and 8 songs on the other one that are all kind of just about like, I love you and I love having you around, or I love being in love, or isn't love wonderful? And it's great, but it does get lyrically and thematically a little bit, after a while, you kind of feel like you've heard what he needs to say, and that's why I'll be interested to go into Intervisions and revisit Songs of the Key of Life and stuff like that to kind of see if he expands on those ideas. But musically, I really like this album. There was a lot of stuff. This did a much better job, I think, of showcasing the musical genius and the variety of Stevie Wonder in terms of the sounds and the instruments he's playing, more than Talking Book did, in my opinion. So yeah, I just enjoyed everything musically here. It was a better chance to see all of the instruments that Stevie Wonder played, I felt, compared to Talking Book. And I actually feel that it's a better place to come to Stevie Wonder as an artist, apples to apples, at least as someone unfamiliar with Stevie Wonder to some degree. So I would actually say to start here and then work backwards to Talking Book. And that is the chronological order. But Josh, I'm interested to hear what your take is.
Yeah, so we're in lockstep. You said some things that really resonated with me. Is there no dark side to Stevie Wonder? Because he certainly doesn't sing about it. I guess that's a good worldview to have and frame of reference to live in. But I don't need to hear, 9 songs about love on one album. And but I am glad that they weren't all ballads this time around, like it seemed like it was on Talking Book. There was some upbeat stuff in here, which I appreciated. He does go on a little long on songs, though. There is some just singing and repetition of sounds. I was like, yep. And it didn't seem to build again to something else. I just cut it off at some point.
There's like a little of I just love to love you when I love you when I love you. It's kind of like after a while it does get a little bit like that at times. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then he throws a female singer in there at some point that's singing back.
Who sings and I love when you love me. It's so. But continue.
Yeah. The other main takeaway I took from this album was I got a lot. I can see the influence that Michael Jackson got from Stevie Wonder. I guess they're kind of contemporaries, but he sounds a lot. Michael Jackson sounds a lot like Stevie Wonder. Listening to this album, I also heard some Jamiroquai in this album. I wrote that down, so maybe that's an influence on Jamiroquai, or maybe just kind of the funk electric piano that he started incorporating more on that. I'm still not completely sold on Stevie Wonder. I haven't listened to an album yet that is kind of like unlocked what Stevie Wonder meant to people. I appreciate his ability, but there isn't something like we had with, I don't know, Nina Simone or Aretha Franklin or some of the other artists that we all were like, "Whoa, this is great." Some hidden thing or artist I didn't know about or saw what their potential was. I just don't. It's not there yet for Stevie Wonder for me, and I guess it will be. I mean, he was popular into the '80s too, so maybe there's an album later down the line that will do it for me.
Okay, Matt, you were probably the most strenuous objector to the last album. Did this change your mind?
Not a whole lot. It's better. He's doing more stuff here. Like you guys say, it's more upbeat. There's more instrumentation. There's drums. Like I can hear drums here, which was a nice change of pace. There were some more intricate and interesting parts going on. You certainly have the trademark, the Stevie Wonder trademark harmonica, which I don't know if anybody, when Stevie Wonder plays the harmonica, you know it's Stevie Wonder playing the harmonica, right? That tone, whatever he's doing, the effect. I mean, that's like that's a hallmark Stevie Wonder sound, and I kind of like it. It's not bad, and then you've got a lot of the interesting key organ type sounds that he's doing, very 70s. I don't know how to describe it. It's just it's again, but it's another 70s Stevie Wonder type sound. Yes, the love theme is there. I get what you're saying there, and that's one of those things that I'm kind of like, I could see why that would be annoying. But I don't know. It's kind of sucks that like we're all like, oh man, he's talking about love too much. He should talk about something like the pain of life. But actually, I also say that's why I could never be a good artist, because like I don't have enough pain in my life, because I think some of the best art that you have is guys that people that men and women have gone through a tremendous amount of pain. My guess is, Stevie Wonder didn't have a whole lot of pain because,
none of these albums
bottled it up.
None of these albums are really pain oriented this week, are they? The garage rock songs aren't, that we did in the last one, and then the Aretha Franklin one is all about uplift. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of like getting through tough times, but it's definitely better than the last one. I'm with you, Josh. I'm not this is not selling me on Stevie Wonder. This is not an album that I'm feeling like I need to go back to. I am interested in hearing Intervisions and Songs in the Key of Life. Maybe there'll be something in those albums that, because those are both very, very highly regarded, both in Rolling Stone and on Best Ever albums. So maybe he's still finding his footing here, and then he just hits it out of the park with the next couple albums. But yeah, it's just I'll say this. I agree with John. I liked Happier Than the Morning Sun. That was kind of an interesting, that was a different song. I kept waiting. That was a song where I was waiting for more of a full band entry to come in, and it didn't happen, but I was still okay with it because I liked what he was doing with that key part. And I could see that song actually being done with a guitar picking. He actually, that song sounds very much like someone playing a guitar, picking a guitar. But he changes it up and makes it that keyboard. But there are some of the longer songs. It's a little bit much, like Seems So Long. That song seems so long. It's a little long.
It's one of the shorter songs on the album.
It's one of the
Exactly, but it felt like it was just slogging along, and it was just boring to me. It did absolutely nothing, and even though it was short, it seemed longer than what it was, because I was, all right, I'm good, move on. Thumbs in the middle, slightly pointing down, on the more of the more of the 4 o'clock than the 2 o'clock, if you will. I respect the guy. He's a hugely talented dude, but I just haven't really heard anything yet that's making me go, all right, I'm converted.
I think I trended a little bit more into seeing it here because the instrumentation was so clear, and that he plays all the instruments, and I could parcel out the pianos, the organ, the harmonica, the drums, the strings, just the different stuff that was in this album. It didn't blend together like it did in the other album, and not blend together in like a seamless way, but it kind of blended together where I didn't get the feel of the instrumentation as much. In this one, I heard it more, and as a result, I appreciated it more. So I could fully digest it more. So this one is more 2 o'clock than 4 o'clock for me.
You know what I did like? What was something that did stand up for a couple of songs, particularly with Superwoman. Evil was kind of like this as well. There's some songs in here that kind of build and they got better as they went along. So I did like that. So I would start off kind of listening and be like, okay. And then at the end I was like, oh, all right. I kind of like that. So I would say that could be a potential in for me if I were to listen to this more, because it's one of those things when you know what's coming, then you appreciate the beginning of the song better. Like Pearl Jam's Black has always been a great example of that. I think I kind of hated that song when I first heard it, and then by the end I loved it because it was just like, it was like, whoa, that was I didn't see that going. I don't know if I hated it the first time, but it didn't do anything for me. It was kind of boring. But there were some songs in here that kind of built a little towards the end, and I did like that. So I will say it's got that. I also have to say, I forgot to mention this when he did I Love Every Little Thing About You at the end, where he just screamed that guttural thing as if you didn't believe him. Every damn thing about you, Like, I was like, okay, I guess he really means it, So that made me laugh. So yeah, I'm interested. I want to be open-minded to Stevie Wonder. I want to hear his other albums, and I want to like him because a lot of other people do, and I want to be able to see that for myself.
Those folks listening to the pod or on YouTube, chime in. Tell Matt what he needs to know about Stevie Wonder. Tell him where to go back and reappreciate Stevie Wonder. He wants you to want him. Cheap Trick or something like that. Yeah. So, okay. Sure. Any final thoughts? Yeah.
Cool album cover. I like the reflective glasses.
Oh yeah, that is a cool album cover.
I agree. Yeah. So
it looks like Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
A bit. So one thumb's trending up, one thumb's trending down. Josh, would you say you're in the middle of those two or going one way?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Thumbs flat in the middle.
Squarely in the middle.
Yeah. Doing the bar, right? That's you, Josh? Yep. So, okay. So that is it for Music of My Mind by Stevie Wonder. We are now on to our